What's up, Internet? Welcome back to the Hyrule Warriors Definitive welcome to the Hyrule Warriors Character Showcase, and today we finally get to play as the big bad himself, Ganondorf. Now, the cool thing about Ganondorf is that he does come with two weapons. The Trident was introduced in Hyrule Warriors Legends, but today we're going to be looking at the Great Swords. The Great Swords, they're a fairly good all-around kind of weapon. They kind of take the extremes of what you expect to find in, say, any kind of dual kind of weapon. In comparison to Link, it's more in terms of AoE than he is for single target damage, which is just fine because he can still handle both roles fairly easily. So as you can see over here, we're using the 4+ weapon. The 4+ weapon comes with a light element, which is really cool because it kind of parallels with Link and Zelda, who have dark elements for their light weapons. So really all I can say about this particular weapon, the Great Swords, is that they're very strong, very awesome moveset, very intimidating looking moveset if I do say so myself, but the only downside is that there's very little invincibility. The only forms of invincibility that you'll have fighting against the harder enemies in the game will come in the form of your SP gauges, so that's essentially what we're going to be having to play around. That being said though, Ganondorf has great AoE, so by virtue of that he's going to have no problem at all building up his building up his SP. Usually whenever I start a fight, I usually do this. Unfortunately, for the entire duration of this attack, he is going to be completely vulnerable to your attacks. That's okay though, he does a fairly decent job of punishing the gauges, and if you're very good at paying attention, what you can also do is shoot an arrow at someone the moment the stun gauge appears. When that happens, you can freeze them, and you'll be able to score some free hits before they unstun themselves. It's really useful. Okay, so this is really cool too because we're actually doing a keep taking competition, and Ganondorf does that amazingly by virtue of having this combo 5. You're going to be using this a fair amount of the time. The only problem, again, is that you have to be a little bit more conservative, particularly against enemies like this, where they like to just armor through the attacks. That being said though, as long as I can grab this keep, I don't have to worry about the lightning damage. So, hello? Alright, that's mine. Okay. Might as well do this again. I know I mentioned this in previous videos, but I might as well say it right now because it's very important for Ganondorf. You want to play really safe, especially for harder maps like this, so don't be afraid to whiff the first several hits of the combo, and then time it so that the strong attack will happen at the best possible moments when your enemies are around you. The reason why you want to do this is because the little hits, the regular attacks building up to the final part of the combo, don't do very much damage, while the final hit is going to do a boatload of damage, so really you do want to play around that. Ganondorf's combo 4 also does a pretty good job. In fact, you might want to use that the most often out of all your attacks, mainly just due to the fact that it's a large amount of AoE, and it builds up that meter that's beneath your bars. That purple meter that you see over there, not only does it make your sword glow, just like the sword of the 6 sages from Twilight Princess, it also turns your strong attack into a huge nuke AoE. Really good for doing single target damage, and it instantly breaks gauges. Not to mention that, of course, it just hits the entire room. Ganondorf just specializes in AoE this time around. He's really fearsome. Alright, so here's keep Saboteur, kind of pop him up into the air with a combo 2, if I can. And yeah, just like that. It doesn't work for all enemies, but once you see the stun gauge, you can do the combo 2. And if you do the combo 2, that means that they'll have no choice but to just take all your hits until they land. So yeah, you may want to take advantage of that, but like I said, it doesn't work for every single enemy. Right, now it's time for us to start defending our keeps. We'll take out the raid captains first, though. Actually, no, why don't we just clear out this? We can get a pretty decent amount. So again, like I said, with your attacks, rack up a lot of KOs. This particular combo hits, like, the entire fortress. It's really good. Or keep, I should be saying. Let's go ahead and build this meter. Or burn this. There we go. Make like a magician, make them all disappear. Here we go. Oh man, yeah, it's really slow and there's no invincibility, so you have to play really safe with Ganondorf. Cannot stress that enough. You might find me repeating that a lot, but it's just because that's how important it is. Yeah, let's do another combo 5. And we're gonna move on to the next fortress. Honestly, it's not difficult at all to reach your 1600 KO count with Ganondorf. It actually happens really easily, too. Okay, so we're going to be fighting against the Zant, and Ganondorf doesn't do very well in duels in comparison to Link, or most of the other characters, actually. Mainly because all of his attacks, like I said, they're very slow. He's more suited for just wailing away on huge mobs, you know, kind of dominating in the most brutal fashion. Again, trying to do this. I'm not gonna finish that combo because I know I'm gonna get wailed on. So I might as well just use this invincibility instead. Here we go. Let's finish this keep boss. Master strong attack for the combo 2. You can do it repeatedly if you'd like, if you feel like blowing off some steam. Doesn't do that much damage though, it's just a lot of fun to watch. Okay, where's Zant? Okay, we're gonna take out Zant, and this is gonna be the tricky part. Here we go. Again, play a little bit safe. Just make sure that Zant gets hit by the final hits, should be okay. And also, I'm gonna have my arrows at the ready. Arrows are extremely useful for Ganondorf, mainly just due to the fact that you just give yourself those extra hits. Okay, let's spam some more combo 4s. Oh, sorry, combo 5, rather. And then walk up to him and do this again. This should finish him off. Not quite. There we go. Okay, so we only need to get one more keep, and being Ganondorf, he grabs keeps incredibly easily. A lot of characters tend to do that, but he's definitely in like the top 5 characters that can steal keeps. It's really, really good. And I believe that in terms of badges, currently my current badge setup, or badge progression rather, is, I think we're on like the 2nd stage out of 3, so if you have the full stages, then yeah, you're going to be getting your keeps really, really easily. And you know what, while we're at it, we might as well grab the keep that is closest to the enemy base. We're at 2100 KOs, and I wasn't even thinking about it that much too. It's really, really cool. Ganondorf is perfect for a game like this, a game where enemies spawn really, really quickly, and he also catches the people that are behind you, so let's just say an enemy spawns during the combo, then you'll end up tagging those guys too. It's really, really useful. Here we go, Fortifier Captain. Okay, he's gonna run, that's fine. I didn't really want him knocking me around. One of the weird things about Ganondorf is that he's such an imposing character, but things like that little Poe that just disappeared, like, he actually serves as a big threat to us just because he can knock us out of any of our combos. You do need to get some Nehru's love badges if you want to use them more effectively, so yeah, just keep that in mind before you start using them. There we go. Get ourselves another keep boss, and we just have to do this attack and that should be enough to kill. Okay, not quite. Yeah, after this, we'll have to maybe pump up a few more levels for him. Okay, final boss. Again, this is not going to be difficult at all. Just keep using Dark Magic, or finishing any of your combos, and then you should be able to build up your levels. Also, it's Young Link. Young Link doesn't have a great moveset when he's played by an AI, so yeah, just spam this combo as much as you can. This combo 4. Or combo 5, sorry, I should really stop getting those mixed up. Okay. Here we go. Shit. Yeah, and as you can see, he's actually invincible during that one too. That's so useful. There we go. Use that arrow. Give yourself those extra hits. Like, with Ganondorf, each of those extra hits matter because his stun attacks actually do a fair amount. There we go. And I think this should finish it off. Nice. And we catch him. Yeah, if I were to time that and land that right when he finishes the combo, that would actually be a full deplete on the stun gauge. So yeah, that's the cool thing about Ganondorf. Like, it's kind of weird that you have to play really safely for a character that's designed to look like he's meant to go berserk, with weapons as huge as these. But once you do play safe, once you have a better understanding and grasp of what your range or safe ranges are, then he's a really, really fun character to play as. So yeah, Ganondorf is just a really great character overall. I'm gonna get into the Trident as soon as I can find the level 4 plus version of that, if even such a thing existed. That being said, yeah, I heard by a lot of people that play Hyrule Warriors Legends that the Trident was the better of the two, and honestly, I really can't wait to see how exactly they'll top these weapons. Until then, thanks guys very, very much for watching as usual, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.